Mumbai, also known as Bombay, is the capital city of India. It is the most populous city in India, second most populous metropolitan area in India, and the fifth most populous city in the world, with an estimated city population of 18.4 million and metropolitan area population of 20.7 million as of 2011. Along with the urban areas, including the cities of Navi Mumbai, Thane, Bhiwandi, Kalyan, it is one of the most populous urban regions in the world. Bombay is the financial, commercial, and entertainment capital of India. It is also one of the world's top 10 centers of commerce in terms of global financial flow. The name Mumbai is derived from Mamba or Mahaba, the name of the Kuli goddess Mumbidavi, and I, mother in the language of Marathi. The mother tongue of Kulis, Mumbai is home to around 10 million people. It is a thriving, cosmopolitan, multicultural city, and is the center of India's entertainment industry. Mumbai has been growing for 500 years, even though it was built on what initially looked like a very weak foundations. At first, there were just 7 islands separated by swamps. The land was dangerous and unhealthy. 1,000 years ago, the islands were part of the Magadhan Empire. Later, they belonged to the Silhara family, and in 1343 they became part of the lands of the Sultan Gujarat. In 1534, the Portuguese captured the islands and established a trading center there. The Portuguese called the place Boom Bahia, meaning the good bay, which the English pronounced Bombay. This trading place slowly grew, with local people trading products such as silk, muslin, chintz, onyx, rice, cotton, and tobacco. By 1626 there was a great warehouse, a ferrari, a fort, and a shipbuilding yard. There were also new houses for the general population and mansions for the wealthy. In 1864 there were around 817,000 living there. By 1991 the population of the whole Bombay, which had spread beyond the islands, was 9,900,000. With the population growing towards 14 million, Mumbai's citizens inhabit a compressed urban conditions with a dense landscape of harsh social and economic divides. As one of the most densely populated cities in the world, the public domain is further compromised by a lack of public spaces. A citizen of Mumbai gets 1.1 square meter of open space, against the international standards of 11 square meter per person. Only 6% of the total land in the city is made up of open public spaces. Out of this, 45% is partially or completely encroached upon. The exercises of democracy depends upon having a public common where people can gather as citizens, squares, maidans, or a park. Public spaces also enrich lives by providing sites for festivals, celebrations, expression of community identity, and or simply a space to breathe at leisure. As the dramatic events at Tahrir Square in Cairo and Gezi Park at Istanbul have demonstrated, these places are symbols of civic participation that offer an important platform to articulate our public voice. Improving the livability of cities begins at the streets, building, or block scale. Incremental, small-scale improvements go a long way towards developing a sense of community, identity, and belonging. Even within the dense and complex environs of informal settlements, there are ample opportunities and residual spaces that can be transformed through simple but good design. The innovations highlighted here work squarely within the material, logistical, and skill constraints of the community.
The value of a city cannot be measured in terms of property prices. Shirin Barucha sees that from the terrace of her flat. It's in part thanks to her efforts that the cricket pitch and the colonial-era buildings, as well as her park, still exist. Along with other concerned residents of the city centre, she founded the Urban Design Research Institute, or UDRI.
It's important for a city to recognize the importance of its history, its collective consciousness, its memory, and that preserves. UDRI has worked a lot to preserve that.
The Institute is a charitable trust that seeks to enrich the understanding of the urban environment and work towards its improvement. It draws students from all over the world.
The ultimate aim for our project is that we can formulate guidelines such that for any kind of future development in the area, there is a set plan for which developers and architects can follow, such that the character of the area is not lost. Because right now what's happening is, I think in 1995, this area was given a heritage recognition. So after that, I mean, each building got graded separately, as a result of which each building follows different guidelines.
The Institute creates maps of the city, draws up development and improvement plans, runs a library, and it's a forum for ideas. Many beautifully restored buildings bear the Institute's stamp.
This is one of the earliest public-private partnerships in conserving a particular institutional building. The building is owned by the Ministry of Education, Government of Maharashtra. And through UDRI Kala-Ghoda Association, it set out the program where a tripartite agreement was done between the government, the college, and Kala-Ghoda Association. This was one of the first examples where government did its job. It did not have items of conservation in its tender.
Creating networks and alliances is often the key to getting things done in a society marked by castes, segmentation, and numerous minorities. Pankaj Joshi, the director of the Urban Design Research Institute, is as much a diplomat and negotiator as he is an architect. He's on his way to his next and so far biggest project. The slums to the east of the city centre are among the worst in Asia or even the world. This old harbour serves as the public toilet for tens of thousands of people, and it stinks. In the mist out on the water, the drug dealers' boats are at anchor. A few people here earn a living breaking up old ships. Everywhere, there's squalor and disease.
This is one of our primary projects which we've been working for last 7 years. This land is owned by the state, by the government, and if it is used for the benefit of the community, probably this can house more than 1 million households here.
The project Pankaj Joshi is working on foresees building 2-story homes in order to make room for a public space along the shore, for roads, and for proper toilets. He's seeking the support of the people and the municipality. At present, drinking water is delivered by truck twice a week. Life here hangs on a slender thread.
Out, yeah. Completely.
"300 years ago, most of the land Mumbai is built on didn't exist. There were 7 separate islands here. As the population grew, huge amounts of sand were shifted and dumped to link the islands and create a peninsula. The sea is always nearby, but few people seem to cherish or enjoy it as an asset. Bandra is a suburb to the north of the city. Local middle-class residents have got together to beautify the shoreline.
Well, you can see some glimpses of how this entire promenade was with these, with the rubble and the debris which is here. You know, when buildings are demolished or they're renovated, people just bring their debris and just leave them here.
Just 500 meters further, the situation is as dismal as it always was. The slum reaches down to the water. The beach is used as a toilet. People come here to wash themselves, their animals, or their taxis. Every year during the monsoon season, chaos reigns. Refuse and sewage trigger the spread of infectious diseases. Epidemics ensue. The Arabian Sea halts the spread of the slum in one direction, and train tracks do the same in the other. The fishermen's lives are tuned to the rhythm of the tides. They sleep where they work, repairing their nets and drying their catch. A few meters away, people do laundry for themselves, prosperous families they work for, or the local hospital. Community activists and the initiators of the Waterfront Centre say that creating public spaces along the shore that can be used and enjoyed by all social classes would improve the quality of life in the crowded city. It would be an important statement and help revitalise poor neighbourhoods.
Followed a process which essentially relied on participation, which saw planning, including planning, as a democratic process in which ordinary citizens, non-professionals could participate in and prepare a vision and a plan for their own neighborhood. I think that, to my mind, is the most significant aspect, because as an architect, I realize plans can be drawn up on our drawing boards in conference rooms and presented through patrons or implemented through patrons who appoint us with professional fees. But here it was much more. The whole process of planning was democratic, that there was this process of giving and taking and learning by a collective effort. Backyards of the city, and therefore
The planners hope people will come together and undertake joint activities in these new public spaces. The local residents should come to consider the shore and the upgrading of the shore as theirs.